What's up everyone? This is Desi. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing one of my favorite looks from the Challenge USA Confessionals. You all gagged over this look, and honestly I'm a little bit sad I didn't get a little more screen time. So we're bringing out the ponytail. We're going to do a little sleek eye, and I'm going to take you guys through my process. All right, so I'm fresh out the shower. Hair is wet. I'm just gonna start by putting a little leave-in conditioner in it. Before I put this in my entire head, I'm gonna section out my front pieces. Those pieces we're gonna use the waver on. So let's go ahead and pull those out. We don't need a ton of hair in the front, just a little something, something. I'm gonna go ahead and braid this, just a lot more than that. I think that's enough for the look. All right, let's braid this up just to keep it out the way. All right, that's probably enough. Make a little space bun. It's about the end result, right? Just bear with me. All right, so let's go back to sectioning this off. We're putting in the deep conditioner. This is actually one of my favorite looks because, especially on the challenge where they keep throwing black girls into the water week after week after week. This is just like a quick-ish option for looking like really fierce and pulled together without having to go through the entire process of blow drying, flat ironing, curling, because it's a lot. We'll go through that on another video, but it's a lot. So this is one of the quicker hairstyles that I could kind of do to like look pulled together, minimal effort, but you'll see for black girls even minimal effort is a lot of effort. So I'm gonna put my hair towel on because I want my hair to be as dry as possible when I go to snatch back into a bun, but I am not gonna go through the trouble flat ironing it and all that, or even blow drying it for that matter. So whatever the hair towel does while we do this makeup is gonna have to be good enough. All right, so I am a woman of a certain age, so I do usually use gel eye patches under my eyes just to moisturize, get rid of any dark circles. The more moisturized you are under your eyes, I think the better like the makeup goes on. The less old you look, the less the makeup kind of creases and all of your wrinkles and whatnot. So we're gonna put this underneath the eye pretty close to the eye line because this is also gonna be used to catch all of my, I think it's called fallout. Like essentially all the makeup that falls when I'm doing my eyes. So let's put these on. This also always feels like a luxury under my eyes. All right, so we're gonna start with a solid base for the eye. I usually just use some kind of concealer. I don't even know if MAC still sells this. I've had it for a million years. It's the Studio FX 24-hour smooth wear concealer. So this is gonna be the base on which I put my eye makeup. So it doesn't really matter how I put this on because I'm gonna smooth it out with a brush. So you just want something that's a little bit lighter, like more like your highlight color, and then something that's grippy, like very matte. So I usually start, actually, I think this is the opposite of what most people do, but I start with the darkest first, like my crease color, and then work my way out. All right, I want my brush a little bit damp. This is just rose water from Trader Joe's, nothing fancy. All right, I'm actually gonna start with black. I'm gonna take black, again, using this as my guide. And I'm gonna kind of create a line here. I keep makeup like simple-ish. So essentially I'm doing the same pattern over and over again, just with like bigger and bigger and bigger brushes and lighter colors. So I'm gonna start with a pretty thin line right in the crease of black. All right, nothing about this has to be super precise. I am no professional, so you don't have to be either. But the thing I do like to do is a little like almost flip up at the very end. Just think that opens your eye up a little bit. And then we're just gonna go, so that I use like a little tiny brush. I'm gonna go one bigger, a little bit bigger size brush. I'm also gonna go from a black to this like brown in the middle. And we're just using a bigger brush. Again, same general motion. You're just like going in the crease again. No science. And then also this way as well. Mirror that on the other side. All right. From there, we're gonna go one bigger size brush. We're gonna go a little bit lighter brown here. Same motion. It's a windshield wiper, pew, pew. I'm sure there are better techniques, but this is one that's like kind of easy and foolproof and doesn't take a lot of thought. All right, we've got one more crease color. We're going to an even fatter brush and an even lighter color and doing the same general motion. Windshield wiper. So that's enough crease color. And then we need something on the lid. We'll do a little bronze action. I'm kind of hating that. I'm gonna tone it down. Let's just do a non-glitter tannish color. That one. Okay, yeah, I kind of like that better. So I like that it has a little glitter shining through, but I don't want to lead with the glitter because we're not going to the club. Or are we? TBD. All right, and then without putting any more makeup back on these brushes, I just go back through with the same brushes just to kind of tone down that lid. So I'm using this brown. Again, no science, literally not even looking in the mirror. It doesn't matter. Back to this brush. And then finally this bigger brush. All right, nothing crazy, but it does give us a little color. Actually, I'm gonna brush my brows up. And then we can go ahead and peel this off. These are great because they're not like slimy or wet. Next up, we're gonna prime the skin. I mean, I've used a lot of primers in my day, but this milk primer is like the best of the best. I'm pretty generous with it. It's not cheap, but again, I don't do a full face of makeup all that often. And this kind of feels like sticky on your skin, so I usually give it a couple minutes to dry while I prep my foundation. So I like a super light coverage for my foundation. So this is Armani Luminous Silk. I use color 11.5. And then I've got a little mixing pad here, palette. I think we call it a palette because I'm an artist, right? All right, so I'm gonna squirt some of that on my palette. And then because I like a pretty light coverage for my foundation, mostly because I'm doing layers of makeup, I tend to like to thin out my foundation with, and this is like a pretty thin light foundation with some hyaluronic acid. I think it just makes my skin look more like skin and less like I'm wearing a shit ton of makeup. All right, so we'll drop some of this on. Let's do 1, 2. And then we're gonna mix it up. For years, I just used like the end of any old brush, but then I upgraded to this little stick. I'm just gonna use that to mix this up. And then we're not wasting any of this expensive foundation, so let's just dab that on. And then we're gonna use a brush to put on the foundation. So I kind of like to press my foundation into my skin instead of like smearing it. I'm just gonna pat it into my skin. And I'm gonna do something different around my eyes, so I kind of avoid my eye area, under eye area, because I know I've got other makeup to put there. All right, I've got some dark spots that I think I'm going to cover up a bit with my concealer. This is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter and Faux Photic. I'm gonna dab it here on this dark spot on my forehead. And then we're gonna just go back to filling in my foundation. Again, pressing it in. Press. And then let's do a little neck. Now that that's done, I think I'm gonna do my brows, but we're gonna use a brown for the brows. I use this brow brush. I like a brush better than a pencil. And I actually use a pretty light brown for this. I just think it looks more natural. Leaves a little more room for error. Next up, let's do a little concealer under the brow. This is just gonna like, I don't know, fix all our mistakes, kind of. I use this super cheap concealer from LA Girl in color Fawn. And then we're gonna draw that under the brow here. Beautiful. Let's do under the eyes. So we're gonna go back to our palette. I'm gonna be an artist again. We're gonna get like the tiniest little bit of our foundation. I don't know about y'all, but I have a really hard time just buying a concealer in the store that's the right color, the right undertone, that doesn't look like ashy or dark. Or I'm gonna do another drop of this hyaluronic acid serum just to keep things real moisturized. And then we're gonna add this concealer, the same LA Girl that we used under the eyebrows. We're gonna add that to our little palette. And then we're drawing under our eyes. So I'm gonna need the most closest to my eyes. So I do that, I pull it down a little bit because we're also going to, you know, contour the nose a bit. And no exact science here. I just like it a little thinner as we move out than it is on the inside. I'm gonna use the same color down the nariz and into the forehead, a little dab on the chin, and right above the lip. For years I used, what is this called? A beauty blender like the rest of the world. But I don't know, recently I've kind of gone back to just an old-fashioned brush. So I'm gonna use a brush, and same thing, I'm gonna kind of press it into the skin so I'm not smearing it around. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit more under the eye. All right, next up, we're going to add our contour, which is always my favorite step. I really think contour makes the biggest difference. It's just gonna like chisel, sculpt your face, and everything else just kind of fades together until you add this bad boy. So we're gonna do a little line to give me a little more cheekbone. Add a line here, snatch the jaw. We're gonna add some lines here, straighten out the nose. And I'm actually gonna pull this up into eyes. And then I kind of do like zigzags around my forehead. All right, same thing. I used to use a beauty blender for this step, but lately I've been feeling my brushes. So I'm gonna start with this really stiff brush and just kind of boop, boop, boop. Yeah, I don't know what to call this motion, but I'm gonna press in and up, in and up. Like, all right, good, good. She's got a jawline, got the chin of a 20-year-old. Perfect. And then this way I'm gonna kind of like go the opposite direction I did on my cheek. So pull it down first and then pull it back. All right, perfect. And then we're gonna use the same brush we used for the last step of my eyes to contour out the nose. So I'm just going up and down until it's really well blended. You don't want a harsh line, so like when you think you blended enough, just blend a little more. Looking good. All right, next we're going to set everything with a few powders, honestly. And this is where I use my beauty blender. This is a good old-fashioned banana powder. We're gonna use very little of this, but we'll use the corner of the beauty blender to put this in like the very, very corner of our eyes. And then for most of the under eye, we're using a color a little closer to our foundation. This is old. I think it's called Topaz, but I've had this same midnight powder for like 10 years. So we'll pull that out. Same thing on the other side. That out. Do the same thing up our nose. A little bit for the forehead. Perfect. I'm gonna do a little on my upper lip too. All right, then we'll do the contour with this Midnight Chestnut using my favorite brush. This same brush. You guys are so funny because my fiance always says that he likes that I don't wear that much makeup. And I'm like, if you only knew how many layers and layers of makeup this was. And then we're gonna use this brush to let it first sit in our cheekbones, or underneath our cheekbones rather. Yep, onto our forehead. And this color is basically my skin color, so it's not a deep, deep contour. And then we'll just kind of buff it out again underneath the chin, along the jawline. The more snatched, the better. And right at this point, we're really just kind of blending everything. Another container that's lasted me 10 years. It's actually insane. Back to this brush. Now we're gonna take this and just kind of buff out our cheeks, buff out our forehead, and then we'll also buff out under our eyes. Same thing on top of the lid. Let's get that out the way. Down the nose, just go straight up and down, and then up and out at the forehead. Always up and out to prevent wrinkles. So I don't always do an eyeliner, but because we're schlicking the hair back, I do think a nice line is gonna be nice. We're gonna use a liquid liner, which honestly always makes me nervous, but just do your best. So I'm gonna gently hold this. I'm gonna start out and up and pull it in. All right, so eyeliner's done. We need a little blush. I've noticed like a lot of girlies don't wear blush anymore. So blush might be a little old fashioned, but I do think it gives the look together. I can't find my powder blush, so I'm gonna use this cream blush, which actually makes me really nervous because she's bright. But let's just do a dot, dot, dot. Let's just do 2 dots. I'm gonna use this concealer brush again and just come up under my eyes. We're almost done with the makeup. Then we'll move back to the hair. We're gonna use this rose facial water again and just spray that all over the face. All right, while that dries, I learned this trick on what not to wear 15 years ago. I still do it. I'm gonna put some glitter situation on the inner corners of my eyes. Come back to kind of a shimmery gold bronze color. I'm using this tiny little brush. And we're gonna bring it up and down. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and add some mascara. So first I use the end to get a ton of it clumped on there. Same thing on the other side, clump it on. All right, then we're gonna go to the top of the eyebrow first. All right, I'm gonna dip back in again. We're gonna use this excess on the ends and then come up underneath in a little left to right, pull out, left to right, pull out. And then I do a little dab on the bottom lash. And in the meantime, my rose water has dried and I'm gonna set it. I love this Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. We're gonna do the lips at the very end after we do the hair. All right, so let's keep our little space buns out. We're gonna want an edge control. So let's actually go ahead and comb this out some. Remember I already put my deep conditioner in. Excuse me, not my deep conditioner, my leave-in conditioner. And we're using this ponytail. It is just as cheap as it looks, $15 on Amazon. And she comes with bobby pins and a ponytail holder. I mean, talk about value. Let's use a little more of this leave-in conditioner around the edges. Add our edge control. All right, I'm gonna use my Denman brush to pull this. I don't know why I made that face. It didn't hurt. It didn't, respectfully, it did not hurt. I'm here for the drama, I guess. So because we're doing a high pony, we want this high enough on our head so you can just barely see the bun from the front. So let's brush this up. Okay, all right, that's the general vicinity. All right, and we need a smoothing brush. So I suck at baby hairs. Like, I literally had Chanel do my baby hairs because I don't know what to do with them, but I'm just gonna brush them down a little bit so it looks like I got some going on. All right, so we want a nice, tight little snatched bun. So we got the ponytail snatched. We're gonna use our little bobby pins that came with our set. And we just gotta get my actual hair out the way. So I like to put it in a fat old braid, wrap it around, pin it down. All right, let's add a little hairspray to the mix. And while we style this front pieces, I'm gonna pull out our trusty old scarf. Every black girl has it. Wrap it around, tie it down, tuck the ends. All right, now we're gonna style the front here. So these pieces are still a little damp, so I'm gonna blow dry it. Look, I know she's looking a little crazy right now, but it's gonna come together. Just trust me on this, trust me on this. And we can prep our very expensive ponytail. So this one's brand new. I tend to have to replace this every, I'd say like 3 to 6 months, depending upon how often I've used it. So let's pull her out. And she comes, as all cheap hair does, very like smooth and very obviously fake. But I do find if I brush it out some, one, it gives me a little more volume in the back, a little vavoom, and it doesn't look so perfectly shiny. So we're just gonna brush her out. All right, crimper was a fail, I don't know. So let's try just a flat iron. Let's keep it simple. Better pass through. All right, let's add the ponytail. This is easier to do with another person, but I'm gonna try to make it happen solo. Something about weave just always, it makes me feel like I'm a new girl. I don't know, I love it, I love her. My alter ego is Davina Iman, by the way, and that's who we're about to turn into. So, has a little comb on the end that I'm just gonna stab into the top of my head. Perfect. And then this comes with the perfect little wraparound tail. So we're gonna wrap that around the bottom. We're gonna go back to the bobby pins. We're gonna need at least 2 of those. All right, we're gonna use a little Moroccan oil. Let's smooth that through. And all she needs is a lip and she's ready to go. The best thing I learned in 2023, actually I think I learned in 2022, was how to overline my lips. It's a little scary. Okay, so I'm just gonna go right above the natural line. Almost done. Let's just finish our lip and then she's ready. Take off our scarf. All right, let's put on some jewelry, put on my outfit, and let's get ready to go. All right, got the fit on. I think we're just gonna change the earrings and then a little powder just to knock the shine off. All right, and we're done. Ready for our look, ready for our close-up. All right, let me know what other looks you want to see me do. This is one of my favorites, as you can tell. She has entered her alter ego stage. I hope you enjoyed this hair and makeup tutorial.